It is Saturday, September 2nd, 2017, and welcome to the Multifarious Man Podcast, episode 27, The Return. As always, I am your host, Jay Vincent. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MultifariousMan and at the podcast blog at www.multifariousman.com. Wow. It has been so long since I have actually recorded a show. I'm talking about over a year now. It seems that in that time I discovered an affinity for drawing and art, which got in the way of writing and recording this show. To incorporate my new love of sketching and drawing, I'm going to try to come up with a custom picture or sketch that will hopefully capture the episode's theme. Now, also, I realized my theme song was not really that good or as cool as I'd like to think it was. Children can be cruel, especially when they're yours. And like the internet, they have no chill. So until I come up with some top flight beats, I'm going to stay away from the rap that used to intro this show and focus on an instrumental that I'm happy with. Now, since the last show, Game of Thrones Season 6 came and went. And Season 7 came with a bang and ended with a bang. Now, spoiler alert, dragons and White Walkers are not to be messed with. Also, since my last show, the Cubs finally broke their 100-plus year curse and actually won the World Series. No, this isn't a prank or anything from Back to the Future 2. They actually won. Go figure. And Wonder Woman came along and broke the crappy DC movie streak. So finally, they can hang with the Marvel big boys. Now, that's only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, we are back with the Multifarious Man Podcast. Now, when I first started this show, I had this whole grand idea of I just want to talk about all the fun books, movies, music, everything that I love from week to week. And it seemed like it was always this list or that list, or maybe it was some sort of nostalgia talking about childhood cartoons or TV shows. But this time around with The Return, I might do it a little bit different. So some weeks there may be a themed list and a breakdown of shows, movies, books, or music that fits into it. And some weeks it may just be a long form review of something that I'm into that week, whether it's a new hit TV series that, I'm suddenly streaming or binge watching, which is what everyone does these days. I mean, who likes commercials? I don't. Or it will be whatever comes into my mind that week. Maybe something amazing happened, a la The Incredibles or the kid that used to watch, that used to sit in the driveway. But whatever it is, I'm just going to have fun and let the show just come out of the blue. Whatever I come up with that week, I'm going to not try to make it so heavily scripted. I mean, it may have some weeks where it may seem like it meanders, but hey, that's the wonders of not recording live and editing after the fact. So hopefully you won't see the seams. So this week I'm going to talk about all the wonderful shows and TV series and maybe some movies that are available now, between everything you can have on demand and streaming. So with all the options that you have on your local cable service or on Netflix, Amazon, and even lately Hulu, there's no shortage of shows, movies, and specials from all over the world that you can now sample, explore, and hopefully fall in love with. Now, I'm not an expert critic by any stretch of the imagination, but I know what I like and I know what I don't like. If I had a year, there still wouldn't be enough time to cover everything. So for now, I'm just going to cover a few from each source. So first up, cable TV. Now, when I was a kid, millions of years ago, as my kids like to say, and we first joined the world of cable TV subscribers, there were maybe 20 channels. And that's not including, the local New York channels, but, maybe like 20 overall channels. And you were happy to get what you got and watch whatever you had. Now, there are hundreds to choose from. And you can watch them on your computer. You can watch them on your television. You can watch them on your iPad, on your phone. On demand is the thing. I don't think anyone knows what time anything comes on anymore. When we were younger, it was, what came on was dependent on the day of the week. So, you built your time around it. You had your TV guide and you wanted to know when your show was going to be on, and that's when you watched it. There were no reruns. VHS was still kind of expensive, so you kind of recorded stuff if your family actually had a video recorder, but other than that, you watched it when it was on or you missed it. Now everything is on demand. Watch it when you want to watch it, so there's no time frame around it, and you can watch 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 episodes in a row, so you're not beholden to the scheduling. It's you watch it when you want to watch it, how you want to watch it. So, mind you, my list for cable TV, it's only including shows that I've actually watched. So maybe a future episode I'll talk about shows that other people are telling me about that I haven't even tried out. So there you go. That's the caveat. These are shows that I've actually seen and enjoy. First up on cable TV, probably my favorite channel is the Sci-Fi Network. It probably has a dozen shows that are just so interesting and exciting and all the wonderful things of sci-fi. So you have The Expanse, which is based on a series of novels, and it probably gets credit for maybe having the most realistic when it comes to sci-fi, but realistic physics, everything from how ships move, how bodies move in a zero-G environment or low-G like the moon or Mars. And it's really very specific. Great character building, very deep world. If you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, they've got the first 2 seasons available. It's called The Expanse. Can't go wrong. Z Nation. The Z stands for zombies. Now, with all the zombie shows on television, zombie movies, the Walking Deads of the world, which I used to watch, but it just got, I don't know, maybe the word is too tense. It was too emotional. We watched TV to escape, and it got to the point where it was like my stomach would hurt worried about what was going to happen this week or next. Z Nation is the opposite of it. It is the campiest, silliest, most fun you could have with a zombie apocalypse. Probably the 2 most well-known people are DJ Qualls, which was the crazy, weird-looking kid in Road Trip, I believe, and the lady that played Aunt Wanda on the Bernie Mac show. Mind you, it was probably 5, 6, 7 episodes in before I even realized it was her, and she was in every episode. Basically, the premise is zombie apocalypse. There's zombies all over the country, and of course, this group of mismatched people, soldiers, regular people, are basically their job is to take someone cross country that may have the cure, and it's their week in, week out adventures. You come to love these people, you come to hate them, but it's really a surprisingly interesting show. Check it out. Wynonna Earp. Yes, if you know anything about cowboys and, history of, lawmen out in the Wild Wild West, the OK Corral, you have Wyatt Earp. Well, Wynonna Earp is a descendant of Wyatt Earp and lives in a town called Purgatory. They have demons. They have all the supernatural. She basically has this demon-killing gun. It's a Colt 45. Only she can use it because she's the heir. Won't get into it. Somehow Doc Holliday is alive. That's all you really need to know for now. Actually a fun show. Great escapism. Next, Dark Matter. Dark Matter is sci-fi at its best. 6 people wake up on a spaceship. They have no memory. And you get to go along for the ride. Killjoys. I think I probably talked about Killjoys on an episode, probably in the teens. So it's been a while. This is a show about a team of bounty hunters, but it's not simply about that. What starts off as episode of the week where they're going on a bounty after bounty turns into, a great epic space opera. Check it out. 12 Monkeys. What can I say? Time travel, future apocalypse, past apocalypse. This is based on the Terry Gilliam movie that starred Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt. Turned it into an excellent TV series that gets you thinking. Finally, rounding out the Sci-Fi Channel is Van Helsing. If you know anything about Dracula and the whole Van Helsing myth, this is a show about a woman, Van Helsing. So she's a descendant of, I'm guessing, the original Van Helsing. Somehow she has special blood that in this future time, vampires have taken over. And her blood can turn vampires human. So, of course, all the vampires are trying to kill her. Excellent show. Check it out. HBO, I don't even have to really get into it, but if you know what to know, HBO, Game of Thrones, Westworld, Veep. I'll just leave it there. I've seen them. I enjoy them. 2 great dramas and 1 comedy. You've probably heard of them. TNT, The Last Ship, basically popcorn adventure show. Again, here's that common theme. The world is going through this time an epidemic that has basically decimated the planet. And of course, The Last Ship. This is a naval vessel, and they go around and try to save the world. BET. I think they have a few series now, but I've only seen one. It's called Rebel. This is a cop in South Central LA. Something happens, she quits, and she becomes a private eye, all the while trying to solve the crime that led her to leave the police force. USA Network. For years, they've had wonderful shows. Now they have probably one of the best shows on TV. It is called Queen of the South. This is about the rise of, I guess, this lady that becomes a Mexican drug queenpin. Yes, it's violent. Yes, it's graphic. But it's so well written. The characters, you love these people, you hate these people. These people are despicable, but you see the human side of it. Doesn't make it right, but to see someone start from the bottom and her climb to the top, it's definitely worth it. MTV, they don't show videos anymore, but apparently they have Teen Wolf, and the series is just completing its, I want to say, 10-season run. I mean, they broke up a bunch of seasons into part 1 and part 2, but it's definitely in the vein of your Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Angels, basically teens, and they're basically each week trying to save the world while looking good in slow-mo while they do it. It's crazy. FX, The Strain, Guillermo del Toro. This is another future apocalypse where vampires have taken over, and it's the story of a group of people trying to stop them. Very eerie, very deep, very no one is safe. Watch it, check it. Finally, cable. They did it right. They took a Stephen King story and have turned it into an amazing series, and it's called The Mist. Forget about all the supernatural, metaphysical reasons behind The Mist, whether you've seen the movie adaptation or read the story. It's all about what happens. It's the whole human nature, what happens when things fall apart and people really show you who they are. Amazing, amazing show that's just about to finish its first season. Well, it seems like a lot. I wish I could have talked more, and I'm definitely going to get into some of these shows and really give you a breakdown in future episodes, but there it is. That's the world of cable through my eyes. And when I come back, we're going to cut the cords and talk about what's on the streaming TV services. All right, we are back with the Multifarious Man Podcast, episode 27, The Return. Now, in the first part of the show, I talked about the shows I'm watching on cable TV. Now, let's talk about streaming TV services. Now, when Netflix first came onto the scene, it was a DVD by mail, rival to Blockbuster and your local brick and mortar stores. Now, Netflix, Amazon, and other streaming services are spending billions of dollars. That's right, billions of dollars a year in original content. So not just buying up movies to show, they're also developing their own movies and TV series. So since I started it with Netflix, first up, Netflix. I'm just going to rattle these off. Voltron. Yes, Voltron, like we used to watch if you're around my age, when we were kids in the 80s, Voltron. It's back, whole new series. Still got the lions turning into Voltron. It's just, they just finished their third season. It's an excellent series. You should check it out. Stranger Things. Yes, this is the show that everyone's talking about. 80s nostalgia, feels like a Goonies, E.T. mix-up, but very eerie, very kids are in danger, but it is so much fun. Ozark. Wow. I can't even tell you enough about this show. Jason Bateman, writer, even director for some of the episodes. Basically, he is an accountant for a drug dealer, and he helps him with money laundering. Well, someone tries to steal that drug dealer's money, and he has to go on the lam, and he takes his family to the Ozarks. He has a short amount of time to pay back this drug dealer, or his family is dead. Well, he thinks the Ozarks are going to be easy because it's not Chicago. Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes underneath happening. He thinks he can bilk other people and launder money locally. It's not going to be that easy. Excellent, excellent first season of this show. Watch it when you get a chance. Marvel TV series. Wow. Not all of them were great, but as a whole, Marvel on TV, Netflix, phenomenal job. Daredevil started it all, followed by Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, yes, the weak one of the bunch, Iron Fist, I don't care. But both seasons of Daredevil were excellent, and I may be one of the few people out there, but I really love their version of the Avengers, which is the Defenders, which combine Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist together to fight the big bad. I enjoyed it. I do actually want to see more, but I also want to see more of their individual series. Castlevania. Yes, that Castlevania that was probably had some of the most fun playing the video games in Nintendo growing up. They basically made a series about the Simon Belmont family. This is the family whose sole existence is to defeat Dracula. Wow. An excellent, violent show. Yes, it's a cartoon, but it's phenomenal. The Fall. Gillian Anderson, Agent Dana Scully from The X-Files. She is the head detective in London investigating a serial killer. 3 seasons. I think the other star is, I'm probably getting his name wrong, Jamie Dormer. I think that's the name. He played the guy in those 50 Shades movies, but he is one of the stars of the show. It's just so well written, and I could probably do a whole episode on British TV shows. This is one of them, and it is so well done. The Ranch. This one's surprising. It's a comedy. Ashton Kutcher, whatever you want to say. Not really a big fan of him. I mean, I liked his character of Kelso on that 70s show, but really, beyond that, haven't really enjoyed anything. This is actually very good. He's an ex-college football star, failed football player who comes back home to his family ranch, and it stars James Elliott with, the most amazing voice and mustache in all Westerns, and I can't even remember the actor's name, but he played Hyde on that 70s show. They play brothers. And also Alicia Cuthbert, who originally was on the first couple of seasons of 24 as Jack Bauer's daughter. Later was on the underrated TV series on ABC, and I'm just drawing a blank right now. Happy Endings. There we go. Yes, Happy Endings. It's, I guess, want to say it's a comedy drama, but it's actually well done, and they just finished the 3rd season. Finally, on Netflix, House of Cards. It's basically about the rise of a senator who, aspires to higher office, and Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright are worth all the kudos and accolades they get. And in today's political climate, it's scary how spot on they are with some of the maneuvering and selfish politics on this show. But at least watching it, you can escape. It's not the real thing, but it's kind of close to the real thing, so give it a chance. Moving on to Amazon. The Man in the High Castle. Sci-fi at its best. It's the whole alternate Earth, alternate history type of story. And I won't even go beyond that, but, just, imagine Germany won World War II. That's where you start with. Bosch. Wow. This is starring Titus Welliver, and it's based on a series of novels. Now, in the novels, Bosch is a Vietnam vet, and he's an LA detective. All they did was take the time frame of the novels and make it current, where now Bosch is a Afghan war vet, still a detective, still, the whole season would be, and they've had 2, it's basically really investigating one big crime. And Bosch is, he's that tough detective from, you've seen it all the movies and TV shows, who might bend the rules a little bit, but he's an honest man and doing the best he can to fight crime. The Tick. This one is based on, the cartoon and TV series, The Tick, but now it's been modernized and brought back to TV. Caught a couple of episodes the other weekend, and it's just as strange and weird and funny as I remember it on Fox back in the days, but updated for a modern streaming, unedited audience. Give it a shot. Fortitude. This is another import And season 1 stars Stanley Tucci. Season 2, it is Dennis Quaid. It takes place in an isolated Norwegian village near the Arctic Circle, and there's a mystery. People are dying, and not sure why. And it's because they're so isolated and away from everyone. That's what makes it so amazing. And the acting performances across the board, people you never heard of, people you have heard of, you'll be looking to find them in other things after seeing this. Sneaky Pete, Giovanni Ribisi. He is a con man who has gotten out of jail and has convinced this family that he is their long lost, cousin, grandson, whatever, all because he is trying to scam them. But of course, like anything where someone is pretending to be someone else, he falls in love with the family. But it's never that simple. Excellent performances. Give this one a shot if you can. Mozart in the Jungle. This is a show that somehow takes the world of an orchestra in New York and makes you care about the maestro, the up and coming cellist, the veterans. Somehow they make the world of classical music sexy and fun and exciting and comical. And this show actually won Best Comedy Emmy a couple of years ago, and it's worth it. And the stars are amazing. Oh, I'm scrolling through my list, and I think that's it for now. I don't have Hulu, so I can't really get into some of the shows I've heard about on Hulu, like The Handmaid's Tale, which has gotten, I'm sure you can read reviews about it somewhere. If someone has watched it, maybe they'll send an email, let me know about it. Other than that, that's it. It feels good to be back and recording again. I'm excited. If I'm not doing a show every 2 weeks, I'm definitely going to do one once a month. And I hope you enjoy the show and you come along for the ride. I'll be right back to close out the show. Well, I'm back. It felt good to record for the first time in a long time. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope, that this show is something you'll come back for and listen to again. If you have any thoughts or ideas about, anything about the show, or maybe something you want to hear about in the future reference, or maybe hear some more about a show that I mentioned, you can send an email to multifarious.man.podcast@gmail.com. And if it's a good email, I'll even read it on a future episode. But I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know if, there's one of the shows I mentioned that you want me to dedicate a whole show, or maybe just a future feature on a show to give you a breakdown, a review, a non-spoiler review, just a breakdown of characters and my thoughts about the series as a whole. Yeah, that sounded weird. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, Jay Vincent out. And thanks again for joining the Multifarious Man podcast. See you soon.